Good evening, yarnies and cool cats. How is everyone tonight? Eh, I'm doing pretty well. Getting everything together as usual. So it's Throwback Thursday again. Hey, Clay Miko. Clee. Oh, these damn ads for spot. It's a free Spotify thing, so the commercial's annoying. But anyway, so we're going to be doing our. Is she done? She's done. Alrighty. I'm a little tongue tied every night. Alrighty, so we're going to do some doilies here. We're going back to the 30s with tonight's, but not really specifically 30s. It's kind of timeless. It just happens to be made in the 30s. You can't hear me? The audio too loud? The music too loud? Can you? Okay, I adjusted the music a bit. Alrighty again. Then, tongue tied. Hey, Grammy. Oh, you don't know what happened? It's Twitch. You know how Twitch is. So we're going to go back to the 30s for tonight. Again, it's not specifically. If you look at this doily, it's not going to be like, oh, that's the 1930s. It just happens to be when it's made. So before we do that, I'm going to show off some of Grammy's doilies that she has lent me. She did not make these. And we're going to talk about what doilies are. Doilies are basically a decorative piece of crochet, usually crochet. They could be tatted. I think they're even could be knit. They served a couple functions. One of them was the main one is to protect your furniture, so you didn't have all those scratches and everything, because furniture was expensive. I mean, furniture is expensive now. The other thing was to show off the crocheter's ability of stitches. Because when you do it in smaller scale, tonight we're not doing it in smaller scale, but when you crochet in smaller scale, your larger stitches, like your triples, your double triples, your triple triples, those types of things, aren't as big. When you use like a worsted weight, it's going to be a huge stitch. Here, I don't think there's any triples. There might be some in the edge here. But when you use those larger stitches, they're not going to be magnified as much. So it's a way to practice stitches and also to show off the artistry and the skill of the crocheter. So there's this one. There's a bunch. I'm going to go through them real quick, and then we'll get into tonight's pattern. So it has this spiral effect, which I really like. Some of these I might go over quicker than others. I don't know if you could see, like on this one here, there's like 4 or 5 stitches together. So you do a series of them, and then you do a chain, and so on. So you can get really intricate with these. Again, you could, if you had the pattern for this, which I don't have the pattern for these, but you could do the exact same thing in worsted weight. You just have a much bigger, you probably make like a tablecloth or something. Oh, here's a real small one. This is really fine, and I think, yeah, that is crocheted. That is, I mean, it's not that big, but it would be good for like a candlestick or something, because it's so small. There's that. Just going to go through them. Zoom back out a little. That one's pretty simple, meaning there's not a lot of intricate stitches. It's a lot of this mesh work. That one's kind of cool with the open work. There's lots of chains involved. That one we already saw. That was a duplicate. There might be some duplicates in here. This one is that technically an edging stitch. It's just they've gone around this piece of fabric. So that would also be really good for something small like a candy dish or something to sit here to kind of dress it up. And I really like this pattern that goes around. Same thing here. It's technically more of an edging stitch because you don't start like in the center. You're just, and a lot of these you would make it and then attach it afterwards. Even though there probably are ways that you would attach it as you go. I've never done either one. I've never added an edging to something like that. It's another simple one. Some of these, depending on what they are, I might actually try to look at it and try to decipher the pattern, and then maybe we could do it on stream sometime. So a lot of it's repeating over and over and over again, what you're doing. And it's if they're circular, which all of these are, except for one, I think. They're all based like a granny square. You go round and around and around and around. So like here we've got these 8 little flower things. You do that. I think they're like 3 triple crochets together. You do those 8 times. You just repeat the same thing over. That's what a lot of this is. It's a lot of rinse and repeat. This one's more like almost like a snowflake type pattern. It's a hexagon, but again, you're still going around in circles. It's just the finished isn't round. Another one with a spiral. And again, that all has to do with chains and how many you do. And then the next row, you do a little bit more. You do a couple extra, like 1 extra stitch, and then you gradually build it out. And then you do however many stitches here. And then the next one, a little less and a little less. That's how you get that effect. This was done a little bit thicker crochet cotton or thread. Again, I don't know when these were made. I don't know how old they are. Okay, there's this piece here, which is technically a doily, and it's still you're going around and around. But when you do that, you would change the number of stitches, and you do something different from the ends. So it is done. Oh, it's more of an oval shape. Then there's this. Now this one is not done in a round. This is done. You would start here, and you work your way back and forth, and you would flip this over. You wouldn't go around in a circle, and that's how you would just do rows and rows and rows. You do something different each time, and then most likely this border edge. I think just looking at the pattern, this would probably you go around and around, all the way around. So and this type of pattern here, that's known as pineappling, which I really like that. It's very classic. And then my favorite one out of all of these is this one here. And I gotta spread it out. It's got the pineapple motif. And it's just got, and I've done this type of pattern before in other projects. It's like 2 double crochets, a couple chains, a couple 2 double crochets to make this quote-unquote fan, and you stitch into those spaces. Let me zoom in to show you this type of pattern here, which is pretty easy to do, but it's really detailed. I think it's my favorite out of all of this stack, but we're not doing any of those tonight. The one that we are doing, and it's shown here up above me, is, they call it this, and it's from a book called A Book Full of Crochet. Copyright date is 1935. I think it is by the Spool Cotton Company, which I'm not mistaken, I think that was acquired by Coates and Clark. I think. Anyway, and Coates and Clark is still a company around today. They make a bunch of different things. They make a lot of sewing thread. This pattern is called the Spiderweb Doily. Zoom out. This is what we're going to make today. I made this one. So this is our sample. This was done in number 5 crochet cotton with a 2.75 millimeter hook. But tonight I will not put you through all of that. We will be using our worsted weight. So it's going to be much bigger than this. And this is a 12 round repeat. Oh, let's get started. If anybody's crocheting along, let me know. If not, that's fine too. Alrighty. And even though this pattern is 80 some years old, it's easy to follow. It's written more. Now, I think, okay, I got this pattern, Not Tonight, Your Head is Killing You. I'm sorry. Hope you feel better. I got this pattern from freevintagecrochet.com. And I think what they might have done, I think they might have transcribed each pattern so it's easier to read and it might be more in modern terms. So that probably is a reason why it's easy to understand. So it wants us to chain 10 and join with a slip stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you notice here with our sample, we've got a large hole in the center. So there's not going to be cinched up. We're not going to have a magic ring. So with this pattern, I would not do a magic ring. I would do the chain 10, slip stitch to join. And you could see the scale here. Hey there, Missy Mouse. How are you? You can see the scale. This is, again, in size 5 crochet cotton. That's my center. So you got the proportion of the scale. This is going to be my center for this. So this is going to be a lot bigger than here, obviously. And it's just for camera purposes. It's not, I mean, you could use this as a tablecloth if you wanted to. Okay. So round 1, we're going to chain 3. And we're going to do 21 double crochets into the ring. So essentially, we're going to make 22 double crochets. That means, yeah, that light was a little much. So we've got our 1, and we're going to put 22 doubles into our ring, because that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. I'm going to count that as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need to move my stitches around. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I didn't stitch over my tail, but that's okay. That's 19, 20, 21, and number 22. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3 to join, and that is round 1. And you can even it out. You can even it out now or when you're finished. Hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So all I did, to recap this, I chained 10, formed a ring, so slip stitch to form a ring, chained up 3, that counts as a double, and I put 21 more doubles into it. So we have a total of 22 doubles into our ring. So that's round 1. Round 2, we're going to chain up 4. And into each of our double crochets from our previous round, we're going to put a double crochet and a chain 1. So that counts as a double crochet in the first stitch, plus a chain 1. So we chain 4. So 3 chains is a double. 1 extra chain is our chain 1 space. So we're going to go into the next stitch and do a double. Chain 1, next stitch, do a double. You're going to do that all the way around. It's pretty simple. A lot of this looks more complicated because there's a lot going on, but it's a lot of double crochets and chain spaces. That's what a majority of the center is. It's actually what all the center is. So, it's nothing complicated. You break it down round by round. And when I do this, I don't worry about what's coming up next. I focus on the round I'm working on. Oops, I lost. How did that happen? I missed that whole loop. And not all doily patterns have a lot of chain spaces, like some of the examples. Oh, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Not all doily patterns have a lot of chain spaces, like some of the examples I shown before. Some of them have just a lot of stitches worked next to each other. Again, it's like with any other pattern. You break down the round or the row or the segment or whatever, and you do it little bit by little bit. But I think so far this is easy to comprehend. And what we're doing is we're not increasing the amount of double crochets here. We're increasing, and the increase happens with the chain 1 space. So it's still 22 double crochets. It's just in between each double crochet, there's a chain 1, and that will help with the increase. And I think that's pretty much how the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 rows are. Alrighty, so we end with a double crochet and a chain 1. And now we're to join. We're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our starting chain. We don't go into the 4th because the 4th is our chain 1 space. The 3rd is the top of our mock double crochet that we're going to call. Let me just find the right 1, 2, 3, right in here. Wait a minute. Right in. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Yeah, right there. Okay, so that's round 2. Round 3 is we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That counts as a double crochet and 2 chains. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to double crochet into the double crochet, except we're going to chain 2, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. And that is how we're increasing it even more. We're adding more space between our double crochets. That's one of the reasons why I chose this one to be our first Doily on Throwback Thursday, because it's not that difficult to see how it's going to work. It's just, so far, it's doubles and chains. But each row you add more chains. I gotta get enough slack on that because it's annoying me. So what is everybody working on? Not necessarily currently at the moment, but if anybody has any whips in progress. And just keep going around. And we're going to have an ad here in a minute. When I get to I'm going to keep going even if we're at ad. I'm just going to keep working on this because it's the same thing. It's rinse and repeat. Nothing too crazy. I'm probably going to finish before we actually go to the ad. Working on a yarn eater blanket, lots of puffs. Yeah, I think you showed me that one. I really like those puff stitches that are in it. So at the end here, we're going to do our chain 2, and then we're going to join into the 3rd chain of our starting chain and slip stitch. So that so far is round 3. And I will be back after this ad break. Welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through that ad break. While I was on ad break, I added into the Discord the actual pattern for this. Again, it's on the website free vintage crochet. Is that what it's called? freevintagecrochet.com. So that was round number 3. Clemiko said, "Mom's going to look through my yarn and pick one. She wants me to make her a crossbody cell phone holder." Oh, wow. Apparently, bags are my new thing. I really enjoy making them in like 3 and 1.5 weeks. Yes. Anybody who is interested, check out the Discord. Clemiko has been posting pictures of the bags that she has made. It's her own design. She's come up with them on top of her head. I haven't seen them physically in person, but the pictures look amazing. I really like them. So definitely check those out if anybody's interested. Yeah, definitely bags are your thing. Some people can make bags, some people can name amigurumi. Oh, if you type in !Discord, there's the link right there. My thing lately is really thin crochet cotton, doily, edging, vintage patterns. That's my thing right now. I'm not designing them. I'm just doing them, but definitely check out her page. Oh, I have to let you know that yesterday, Grammy and I dropped off a bunch of her blankets that she made for Project Linus. And either Grammy, if you want to, if not, you don't have to. I can post them for you. I can post them into the Discord if you wanted to. So that is round number 3. So round number 4, it's going to be just like round number 3, but we're adding an extra chain stitch. So to start with, we're going to chain 6 instead of 5. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that counts as a double crochet and 3 chains. So now we're going to double crochet into the next one. And now we're going to do 3 chains and then double crochet into the double crochet. And this is how to get the spider web look to it. Fine with me. You're more techie than I am. Okay, I'll do that maybe the next ad break or after I'm done the stream. She made some really, really cute looking blankets. But the pattern I'm doing tonight, if somebody really wants to, hey there, lady, how are you? If somebody wants to get into doing doilies or whatever, this is a good pattern to start with because the first 6 rounds, it's pretty much the same thing. You're just adding an extra chain between your doubles. It's not complicated. It's not complicated unless you can put the hook in to the right stitch. But you don't have to worry about counting. The only counting you have to do is the chains. But you don't have to worry about trying to find where the stitch goes. Try to learn. You mean this pattern here? Yeah, all it is doubles, and then the next round is doubles with the chain space, and the next one's doubles with chain space with the chain spaces that are 2 chain spaces. Now this has got 3 chains. And again, that's the main reason that I chose this one because it's not super complicated. 3. And I'm already on round number 4. And we've got 12 rounds in this. So this goes quick because the chains are most of it, and you don't gotta think too much about them. I just gotta think to remember how many chains to make when I'm talking. Because you know me, I get to talking and I lose count and I hit the frog, but I don't think we hit the frog anything tonight. Knock on fake wood. Are welcome to share our own crap. Yeah, definitely. There's a channel called Whips and Foes. You could definitely, if you have anything you're working on currently or have just finished, you could put it in there. You could put stuff in the general. Most of us usually put it in the Whips and Foes. Alrighty, so that's round number 4 we just did. Just finish. Yeah, definitely. Show it off. And it doesn't have to be just crochet. It could be anything that anybody's working on. So again, we're going to join to the 3rd chain of our chain space here with a slip stitch to join. Whoops. And that is round number 4. So on to round number 5. Round number 5 is just like the previous rounds, except you're adding an extra chain. So we're going to chain 7. Sew and make hair bows as crochet as well. Yeah, definitely. Show off things that you've made. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to double crochet into the double crochet. And then in between each, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double crochet into the double crochet. Hopefully what I'm doing is making sense. 2, 3, 4. Four. In an unrelated, well, it is kind of related. It's a whip I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I've been working on off stream, and when I get done this doily, I'll show it, and I might even probably end up working on it. I've been working on the blanket that I'm going to be donating to Project Linus that I started on Sunday's marathon stream. I think it's turning out really, really nice. It's really pretty, and I like actually doing the pattern. And I've already got 2, 3, 4 some ideas possibly popping on in an update pick of the for the Project Linus. Yeah, I definitely will. Like I said, when I get done this doily, and again we are now on round 5. I'll have to take some pictures off stream because it's too big to lay out here on my desk. I have to find some other place to lay it out to take a picture. But I've already got some ideas for other yarn that I have. This is a 12 round doily. And I'm on round number 5. So not quite halfway. This round, which is number 5, and round number 6 are pretty much the same. The same thing, you're just adding chain spaces in between. 4. increasing the number of chains for the chain spaces. That's what I should have said. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. And I'm only about a half hour into stream, and I'm already gotten this far into it. So, again, it goes pretty fast. Even if you're a slow crocheter, and I know I tend to crochet fast. Two, 4. Alrighty, so I'm on my last one. I'm just going to do my chain 4. 4. And then you're going to slip stitch into the third chain. 1, 2, 3. To join, and that is round number 5. And if you notice, just what popped up, I have a automatic command that will or an automatic message that will list all of our current sound commands that we have here on the stream, so you don't have to go back and try to look for it in the Discord or whatever. And you guys are free to use any of those sound commands. A lot of them are situational, but still. So that was round number 5. So round number 6, we're going to chain up 8. Again, this chain 8 is going to count as a double crochet plus 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a double crochet and 5 chains. And then we're going to double crochet into the double crochet. Now between the double crochets, you're going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And obviously, I'm on a much larger scale than you normally would probably do. 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I am using a worsted weight cotton, which in my opinion, it's probably closer to a size 3 instead of a size 4 worsted weight. It's more of a DK weight in my opinion. 3, 4, 5. But there's nothing stopping you from doing this. 2, 3, 4, 5 in whatever size yarn or thread you choose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Found it interesting that in the book that this was originally in back in the 30s, let's see, they have a bunch of edgings, a bunch of different doilies. They've got other projects. They've got a hot mitt, like an oven mitt, hot dish holder. 1, 2, 3, 5. A purse, a belt, no more purses, cosmetic bag, footstool cover, a blouse, a neck collar. They've got curtain tiebacks. I don't know if people even use curtain tiebacks anymore. Bunch of doilies. They even have a pattern, 3, 4, 5, for a men's necktie. 5. So maybe at some point I might make a necktie. And again, this is all on the website freevintagecrochet.com. And you can already tell how large this piece is getting. And I'm only on round 6. And this, when I'm done this round, I'll be halfway done. So this is going to be a sizable piece. But also keep in mind it's a larger scale that I'm doing. Almost to the end of this round. Three, 4, 5. Two, 5. I got one more chain space to make. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the third chain space, so one in the third chain, I should say, to join. And I'm going to stop here and recap what we've done. So we did not increase any of our double crochets. We started with 22 double crochets in the first round. The second round, double crochet into a double crochet, and in between each double, we did one chain. So that's all we did, was we did a double into a double, chain one, double into a double, chain one. Round 2, we did the same thing, but between doubles, we added 2 chains. The next round, same thing, double into double. In between each chain, in between each double were 3 chains. The next round, which is round number 5, double into a double. And in between each double, there were 4 chains. And then round 6, we just did, again, double crochet into a double crochet from the previous round. And in between each, we did 5 doubles. So that's just really, really simple. There's no increasing of doubles. It's still 22 double crochets per round. You're just increasing the number of chain spaces. So now let's get to the more, it's not difficult, a little more, we're going to change it up, I guess, I should say. So round 7, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as a double. And into each chain space, so now we're going to work into the spaces. We're not, okay. For each chain space, we're going to put 6 doubles into the space and 1 double into the double. And that's all that this round is. So this is pretty easy also. Hey there, Anna, how are you? So into the chain space, so into this big space, we're going to put in 6 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then into that double, we're going to put a double. That is the repeat for this round. This round is super easy. It's all doubles. There's no chains involved. So 6 into the space, 1 into the double. Two, 6, and a double into the double. Let me show what we're doing right now. And on our original sample, we're working on this round right here. So in each space, you're putting 6. In each double, we're putting 1. and that is creating this more solid round. And if you look ahead, we're going to be doing something very similar 2 rows ahead, because you're not going to have as many in there, but it's similar. And I need to get a little drink. And 6. Sometimes, I know years ago, I looked at a doily and I was like, that looks intimidating. I don't know if I would ever be able to do it. But again, you break it down into smaller components. 3, 5, and 6. Yeah, if you break it down into smaller components, it's pretty easy. And also, again, if somebody wanted to start into doilies, I would recommend this one because it's beginner friendly, I would say, to doilies. And it looks amazing. I was just counting to make certain I had the right amount of doubles into the space. And yes, this round's going to take a little bit longer because you're putting all of these stitches. There's no chains as you go. And again, this would have to be blocked to make it look the way it should be. Like my original sample is blocked. 2, 4, 5, and 6. And this music is, oh, okay. 4, 5, and 6. I mean, even if you just finish at this round, that would still be pretty. Just this. If when I get to the end here, that would still be pretty just on its own. But we will go to the end of the pattern. Keep in mind, I am working on round number 7 right now out of 12. Four. A lot of counting. But again, if you crochet, you know that there's counting involved. And we're going to have another ad here shortly. 2. Yeah. Five, 6. And I will be back after this ad. And welcome back. Again, thank you for sitting through the ad break. So while we were at ad, I can finish this round. I haven't joined yet, but you'll notice it's going to be wavy and ripply. That's going to happen because you're putting a lot of stitches in those spaces. Even if you're going to do it on a larger scale, I do recommend blocking it. It will help. Because the same thing happened when I made this, doing that round. It was very wavy and ruffly. But after blocking, everything fell into position. So all I'm going to do, and I ended with our 6 doubles into our chain space, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3 to join like you normally would doing a round, and that is round number 7. Round number 8 is pretty easy. You're going to chain up 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. That counts as a double and 2 chains. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch, put a double crochet. And then the rest of the round, we're going to chain 2, skip 2, and in the 3rd, do a double. Chain 2, skip 2, in the 3rd, do a double. And if you caught one of my previous streams or watched one of my previous videos, chain 2, skip 2, and in the 3rd, do a double. That's filet crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, and in the 3rd, do a double. It's all open filet crochet, but it's still the basis of it. The whole thing of this whole doily is not filet, obviously, and there are doilies that are filet. But I just thought I would point that out because it's something that we've done previously on stream. And this round is going to go a little quicker because, again, you're doing those chains, which eat up that space to make it go a little faster. Show what I'm doing, what I'm working on now, and I'm making this open mesh on this round. And this is round number 8, right? Yeah, or number 8. Skip 2. So Grammy said she's working on a yarn eating blanket with lots of puffs. And Klingmiko is doing her bags, and then her mom wants her to make a crossbody cell phone holder. What is everyone else working on? Again, you don't have to be working on it currently as we speak, but any projects you have ongoing at the moment. Me, besides my samples, I just have that one blanket whip that I'm going to be donating. I need to come up with a pattern with this other yarn. I've got some camo yarn that I'm never going to do anything with. And I got to come up with a blanket pattern to use that. I've got some other fleecy yarn, but I'm not going to work with any of that until it gets a little cooler. That will be done via a donation blanket as well. Just working on granny square lap blanket for a friend with special needs. Oh, nice. Here on the channel, I know a lot of us are big fans of granny squares. And I don't know if you caught my Granny Month event back in June. Hey there, Upcycly, and thanks for the lurk. I did a granny event all June long. It was garden themed, so it was florals and some garden critters. And previously, I've done other granny events for different types of granny squares of different styles. So that is a favorite of ours here. I will be having another granny event. I'm thinking September. You missed it. Your dad was in the hospital a lot in June. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope he's okay. Even if you missed any of the June streams, granny event, I do have them all on. He's doing a little better now. His carer's looking for him. Okay, well, glad he's doing better. Check this. Okay. So, like I was saying, if you want to check any of those previous streams, they are on my YouTube channel. If you type in !YouTube, that will be the link to the channel. All of my streams are uploaded after I stream. So you can go back and watch streams I did back in December and January when I first started the channel. So I come to the end here. I got 2 spaces and I'm going to skip, but we've got a double here. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the third of our chain here. We want to slip stitch into the quote unquote double crochet, not into our chain space to join. And that is what we have now. And again, it's going to look a lot better if it's blocked. And I can't show the whole thing because it's so large. I mean, I can zoom out, but still, let me zoom out a little. And you can see how it is ruffly and wavy. Blocking will help. So that is round number 8. We're on to round number 9 now. Round 9, we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to put 2 double crochets in the chain space, 1 in the double. 2 in the chain space, 1 in the double. So this is just like the previous round. You're just putting less double crochets in there. And again, this round that we're going to be working on now has no chains. 2 doubles in the space. Whoops. Not a half double. 2 doubles in the space, and then 1 in the double. This is round number 9. Non-complicated nothing complicated about this at all. Don't be intimidated. with doilies to look at them, that they're so intricate. If that has been something that's kept you away from anything doily related, again, it doesn't have to be super small like crochet thread, which I get that if you can't physically see the thread in the hook, I get that, but you're all right making it on a larger scale. Don't let that deter you. Stitches are pretty easy. That's not. The music was a little too modern. I wanted to keep it 1930s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and that was a little too modern sounding. Like I said, lately I've been obsessed with these vintage patterns. Looking at them, practicing them. I think it's pretty interesting and cool. So far, that's what we're working on. We're just making a more solid round. It's not open like previous rounds. Okay. Music was sounding a little too upbeat and modern. Well, I shouldn't say upbeat. A little too modern. I need to find decent, either Twitch safe recordings that are modern but sound like they're vintage, or find some copyright free anything before the 1923. I found some, but the quality's not that good. Again, it's from 1923 or before. And I like this pattern. You don't have to constantly go back and read it because it's so simple. You don't really got to think about it while you're doing it. And as a reminder, Thursdays are Throwback Thursdays. Next Thursday, we are going to have another mystery edging pattern. The one we didn't get to last week, because we had two that were chosen by Grammy. We did the first one, but we didn't have enough time to do the second one. So we will do the second one next week. I have no idea what it is. Honest to God, I have not looked into that book. Last time I looked at that book is when we were doing it last week. The pattern we were working on, the edge pattern. Not even thumb through it. Put it back. Well, I did keep it open to reread the pattern to make it in the smaller, more, I guess, proper scale. And to show you real quick, that is what it should have looked like. I didn't block this, but that was last week's. I ripped out what we did on stream because it's actually using this exact same yarn. But that was last week's mystery pattern. So I did look at it to redo the exact same one, but I did not look at any other patterns. Also, this Saturday, we're going to be doing some mosaic crochet. I'm going to recap a stitch that we did back in the winter. We did Apache Tears stitch. And there's another stitch. I don't know if it has a name. It's like a wavy type pattern. So we will touch into the world of mosaic crochet, which I find really, really cool. It's basically, you're manipulating color in the same row without having to worry about separate balls of yarn in that row, and not having to worry about like stopping and then rejoining a color and then stopping again and joining back. It's a pretty cool technique. It's good for geometrics, and I guess you could do lettering and numbers. And I'm almost done this round. We will go on to round number, we say 10? I think we're on that 9 right now. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of my chain here to join. So that was round number 9. We got 3 more rounds to do. So round number 10, and now what we're working on, I'm going to show you on my example. What we're going to be working on now are the frilly edging. So we're going to work on this. This is round number 10. Then it'll be 11 and then 12. So we're going to do this next. This is the one that gets a little more complicated. But the body of it here, pretty straightforward. So, round 10, we're going to chain 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double crochet into the same stitch. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the 6th one, we're going to do a double crochet. Chain 3. And double crochet into the same stitch. That's your repeat. So to start, we did a double crochet, chain 3, so that's 6 chains. Again, the first 3 counts as a double, The next 3 is our chain space. Into the same space, do a double, chain 5, skip 5. In the 6th one, do a double, chain 3 and a double. So now we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th one, do a double, chain 3, and then a double into that same space. So this double chain 3 double is a variation of a V-stitch. Usually a V-stitch, traditional V-stitch is a double, chain 1 double in the same stitch. This has got a couple extra chains. And then we're going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th one, we're going to put in our double, chain 3, and in the same stitch, do a double. So far, this is pretty simple. Just a little extra thing you're doing there. And I know I keep saying it's simple. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the 6th one, do a double, chain 3, and do a double. Hopefully you all can see this. It might help if I move the work out of the way. Kind of see what I'm doing. So I'll repeat that again. So we're going to chain 5, 5. I'm going to wrap because I know I'm going to do a double. So I've got that already ready. So I'm going to skip 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th one, do a double crochet, chain 3, and in that same stitch, do a double. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. 4, 5. And then we're going to skip 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th one, do a double, chain 3, and in that same stitch, do a double. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one, a double, chain 3. Hey, Fairy Dust, how are you? I'm pretty good. Working on our 1935 doily pattern. We're on round number 10 of 12 rounds. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Speaking of doilies, that doily that you had posted in the Discord the other day looks great. And I like it in the red. 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th, we're doing a double, chain 3, and a double in that same stitch. I got to turn my volume down a little. So now we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 5. In the 6th one, do a double, chain 3, and a double. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Double, chain 3, and another double. Okay, good night, Clean Miko. I will chat with you later. I'll message you tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, whoops. 1, 3, 4, 5. Skip 5. 5, and the 6th one, double, chain 3, and a double. And we're going to have an add here. And while we're at ad break, I'll keep working on this round. I will be back. And welcome back, everybody. I've been working on this round when we were at ad, so I've got a little bit left to do for round number 10. Samara, yarn I was gifted a year ago and decided to make something to take a break away from granny squares. We all need a break sometimes. Yeah, I get tired of doing the same thing over and over, and I will switch it up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no! Oh no! Hey Seagam, how are you? 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to the sixth one. 3. We're working on a doily from 1935 or pattern. And let me just check to see if I have enough. It was time for your shift. Yeah, actually, Clean Mako just left. 1. Oh, I think I found a boo-boo. I think I put a chain in there. I think that looks like a chain. I might have put a chain. Oops. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're good. So now we're just going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And slip stitch into the third chain. 1, 2, 3 of our original chain. And that is round number 10. It makes this open work. 2 more rows left. Alrighty, row 11. We're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's our 6 chains. Double crochet into our chain 3 space. Chain 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip that chain 5, and in this chain 3 space that's here, put in a double crochet. And that is the repeat. So we're in a chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the chain 3 space, put a double crochet. So this round's going to go relatively quick, because there's a lot of chain spaces. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double crochet in the next chain 3. 2, 4, 5, 6. Let me just double check something. Hold on. Oh, I'm wrong. So we have a little bit of frogging, but again, it's been weeks since I've done my sample. Who said I could take a sip of your drink? It's my drink. Okay, let's start this round over again. Chain 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double crochet in the first chain 3 loop, which is right here. Chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip the chain 5 and make a double crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Okay? That's what I messed up on. So we did chain 6, double crochet into the loop, chain 6, and in the next chain 3 loop, put a double crochet, chain 3, and in the same loop, do a double crochet. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of mimicking the round we just did. Instead of chain 5 here, we're doing chain 6, and we're still doing this V-stitch, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the previous round's V-stitch. That was my mistake. So now we're going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this round we don't have to count any of our stitches. We just go into the next chain 3 and do a double, chain 3, and then do a double in the same chain 3 space. Let me show that one more time. Or to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the next chain 3 space, we're going to skip this chain. In the chain 3 space, you're going to put in a double, chain 3, and in that same space, do a double. Oh, not a triple. I think I yarned over one too many times. So again, chain 6 in the chain 3 space, in that little loopy bit, do a double, chain 3, and a double, all in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double into the chain 3 space, chain 3, and double into that same space. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double into the space. Whoops. Double into the space, chain 3, double into the space, and this music is not what I want. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have anything that's 1930 sounding right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double into that small space, chain 3, and then double into the same space. I don't really like that song either. Okay, anyway, I'm not worried about the music. 2, 4, 5, 6. Chain 3, and do our double into the same. Again, I hope this is making sense. I know you're probably not actually doing this along with me, but 2, 4, 6. Double into that, chain 3, double into that. I didn't yarn over. Three, double. About halfway done this round. Three, 5, 6. Three. I'm just counting my chains. 3, 6. Because if not, I will lose track, and it's how I keep the rhythm of the round. And like I said, it's mostly chains. Five, 6. 3. Double. Getting there. 6. I think that's the largest number you have to count to in this project, is up to number 6. Oh no, 22 for your beginning round. If you, 3, 4, 5, 6. Making certain I did it the right way. I didn't do that the right way. Think I would learn how to form a double crochet. A little bit longer until this round is done. I can still hear you saying, but you never break the chain. Is that a Fleetwood Mac reference? I can hear you say you must never break the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's funny. Yay for all the Fleetwood Mac fans out there. 2. 2, 4, 5, 6. Kids these days are like, is that a new band? Yeah, it's a new band. It was 1973. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty, I'm at my last here, so I'm going to chain my 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the third one up, I'm going to slip stitch. And that is row number 11. So we're going to just see what it looks like so far. It doesn't look like much. It's going to look a lot better when it's blocked. So there's our row 11. We have one more round. Should say round, not row. Alrighty, so this one isn't that much different than the previous row, slightly. So we're going to chain up 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double crochet into the same loop that's there. Chain 3. And now what we're going to do, so basically what we've done is we've done I made a mistake, and the instructions didn't say, but again, it's from 1935. What I should have done for these 2 rows is I should have after I joined, I should have slip stitched into the chain space and then chained up. It's not going to make that much of a difference. And then that way it would be more into the chain space and not into the stitch from below. It's not that big of a deal. So we've done our double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. We've chained 3. And now we're going to do a single crochet. But what we're going to do, and this is the interesting part, we're going to do a single crochet, but not into this chain space, but into this chain space. We're going to skip down past 2 chains. So we're going to go down, not row 11, but to round 10. Go in, single crochet around both of those chain strands. And now we're going to chain 3. And we're going to double crochet into the next chain 3 space. So that's what we've done. We've got our little modified V-stitch, chain 3, single crochet around the 2 previous chains, so the one from 11 and from 10, go around both of those, chain 3, and then do a double into the next little chain 3 cluster, the small loop. And now we're going to chain 3 into that same loop, do another double. So that's the same thing that we've been doing, but into the chain 3 space, we've done a double, chain 3, double. We're still going to do that on all of those. Now when we get here, we're going to chain 3, single crochet around not just this strand, but the next one. So we're going to go 2 rows below, and that's going to cinch it up, single crochet, chain 3, and then in our next chain 3 space, do a double, chain 3, and a double. And that is what you're going to have. It's going to make, when it lays flat, it's going to make these points, and this is going to cinch it up in the center here to help accentuate that point. And you're going to have it all the way around. It looks more complicated than it really is. And it kind of makes this little honeycomb shape with those 3 rows. Again, chain 3, skip down 2 spaces, so round 11 and then into round 10, single crochet around both of those, chain 3, and then double into the next chain 3 space, and then do your modified V, which is again 3 chains and then a double into that same space. And that's all that this row is. 3, drop down, do a single, chain 3, and then in our chain 3 space, double, chain 3, and a double. Two, 3, 3, three, to show what I'm working on. That's Cute little simple edge. I don't need the pattern anymore because, again, this is the last round. Rinse and repeat. Single. I was getting ready to do a double there. I think it's the only time, yeah, it's the only time that there's singles is on this last round. See how much more I have to go. I'm a little more than halfway down this round. Again, I encourage you to try a doily pattern, maybe even this one. If you've never done a doily before or have been intimidated, I've never done any of the pineapple type pattern stitches that are common in a lot of doilies. That is something I want to try at some point. And we're going to have another ad. So I will be working on this. Actually, I'm almost done this round, I think. But yeah, I'll continue on this while we're at our ad break. Yeah, I definitely want to try the pineapple stitch pattern also. And I will be back after the spray. And welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through the ad break. So I came to the end. Wait, I want to try something with the pineapple stitch pattern. Also want to do something that uses Catherine's wheel. I've seen the Catherine's wheel. I've never done that before. I do have in our Stitch Dictionary book by Susan Hazel, I think that's her name. There's the Catherine wheel stitch. At some point, I do want to show how to do that. I've never used that stitch before. So got to the end here. I did our chain 3, single crochet those together, chain 3, and now we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our starting. And then you could finish it off. I'm not going to end up cutting it because I'm going to reuse my yarn. And I'm going to zoom out as much as I can. But as large as this piece is, you're probably not... Well, you can see most of it there. Obviously, mine is on a much larger scale because I'm using larger or thicker yarn than what normally would be used. But on a worsted weight yarn, again, this has not been blocked. It's not quite 18 inches. But on my sample that I used a weight of 5 crochet thread. Again, crochet thread weights are different than yarn weights. It's a different, totally different system. We are at just slightly over 9.5 inches. So you can see that there is definitely a difference in scale. It's the exact same number of stitches, exact same pattern, but totally different looks. I guess you can make this bigger if you wanted to, do more of the spider web work. You'd have to increase the number of stitches that you would do here or whatever and play around with the math if you wanted to make it into like a tablecloth. So that is what they call the spiderweb doily from, what did we say this was? The Spool Cotton Company. Again, I think they were bought or acquired or part of Coats and Clark's, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a pattern from 1935. Pretty easy if you break it down into smaller segments. And all it is, again, is double crochets and chains. There isn't much increase counting for increases except for the chains. And then the only other stitch is on the last round. You are doing single crochets here and there. So it makes a pretty looking simple doily. We mentioned pineapples. So earlier on the stream, when I first started, I don't know if you were here, Fairy Dust, but I was showing off some doilies that Grammy lent to me. Again, she did not make these. These are ones that she acquired. This is my all-time favorite out of that bunch. It's got the pineapple motif here, and it's got these. They're basically a modified fan. It's like 3 double crochets or triple crochets, could be a couple chains and then 3 more, and then you stitch it into that chain space to make this leaf type pattern. I really like this. I'm considering getting my magnifying glass out and seeing if I can figure out the pattern for this and maybe replicate this. This is a long-term project. I don't know how many rounds this is, many rounds. But, and this is also really fine thread. But, I really like how detailed that this one is. But with that being said, I think that we are going to call it an evening tonight. It's been 2 hours. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the doily, our first doily of Throwback Thursday, first doily of the channel that I've done on the channel. There'll be more in the future. Definitely a whole lot more doilies to be done. More edging, like I said. Thursday night, next Thursday, we will be doing our mystery edging pattern. This weekend, tune in for Mosaic Crochet. We're going to do the Apache Tears stitch. And then there's this other stitch. I don't know if I call it a wavy line stitch or whatever. It's a geometric. That's it. Mosaic Crochet is geometric. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out the Discord if you want to. With the YouTube channel, all of my streams are uploaded to the YouTube channel immediately after, uncut, unedited. Join the Discord. We've got a growing community. I don't know how many people we have over there now. Showing off things that we've made, ask questions, a couple different cool resources, other things on there. Pretty cool little small community at first, which is fine. I don't need to have a huge community. And I think we're going to go raid. We're going to raid, and it's a streamer that I've been in his stream before, but I've never raided before. He is a prominent streamer when it comes to crafts. He has crocheted, he's cross-stitched. I think he's cross-stitched. Could be wrong. He plays video games or whatever. So we're going to go and check out Pick Stitch. And let me move this over. So stick around for the raid and show him some love. I'm going to turn my music off now. And